Okay, let's go party.
Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This week, as you can probably tell from this next to me, I'm making another Barbie costume. Look, I can't help myself, okay? Every costume in that film is just perfection. This time, I'm deciding to make her beachwear costume. Mostly to go with the Ken costume that I made earlier in the year, but also because I'm organising a cosplay picnic this summer, and I thought this little ensemble would be the perfect costume to wear to it. I mean, it even comes with built-in sun protection. So without any further ado, let me show you how I made this beach Barbie costume. Good morning, welcome to day one of making Barbie's beach outfit. This morning I'm going to tackle the big floppy hat she wears. Now I'm really excited about this because I've never really made a hat before. I made one back in 2012, I want to say, and this is the state of it. We don't really talk about that, so just ignore that. Cool. Floppy beach hat time. So I'm going to be using this pattern done by, oh my god, I can't read the font that she's used. I'm going to be using this pattern by Ilona Millinery. I hope I've said that right. I'll be linking it down below and maybe up here as well so that you guys can use it too. She has an incredible tutorial that she's made to go along with it as well, so yeah, I'm going to be following that because I don't know how to make a hat and she does. So let's get into it. Alrighty, for fabrics you're going to need 1/2 meter of a large gingham check, a small gingham check, some cotton canvas, then 2 meters of a brim reed, and some petersham ribbon. And of course the first step of any project is cutting out all your pattern pieces. Then to strengthen all of the pattern pieces, I add a layer of the cotton canvas which I baste to each piece using my machine. After basting all the crown pieces together, you then repeat the same process with the brim. Now it's time to actually assemble the hat pieces, so we begin by sewing all of the crown pieces together. Once all the crown pieces are sewn together and I've tested the fit, I then began to iron all of the seams flat. I then got a button which I covered in some fabric and then used this to sew right to the centre top of the crown. Next it's time to make the brim, so we sew the small check to the large check on the outside. Then after turning it right side out, I sew a 5mm gap along the outside edge, and this is to put the brim reed into. You would not believe just how difficult it is to try and get this little wire to go all the way around the brim. It's so hard. It just keeps catching. Oh well, I'll come back to you when it's all done. As you can see, the brim is now wired, and I even did the quilting that goes underneath it, so all I have to do now is attach the crown bit, and then I've made a hat. Oh, it's so cool. And here we go. Here is the crown attached to the brim. Came outside to try it out, see if it provides sun protection. It does. We have a hat. So this is honestly not bad for my first time making a hat like this. Probably do a couple of things differently next time, but either way, I am absolutely stoked with this. So now I've just got some finishing touches to do on the inside here. But yeah, I made a hat. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of creating Barbie. Now, I have just woken up, as you can probably tell from my puffy eyes, but I am just really excited to get into this because it's turning out to be one of those really quick builds where everything just comes together nicely. I hope that's not foreshadowing for anything to go wrong today. I'm currently waiting for the pattern by Lunith Cosplays to print off. She made a beach Barbie dress, so that's awesome. It means I don't have to draft anything, and I love when that happens. So yeah, I just need to wait for all 30 pages to finish printing, and then it's let's get stuck into this time. I have my fresh stack of pattern pieces. Let's tape them together. Oh lordy, there is a lot. The pattern is now all taped together, so I just need to figure out what size I am in the shorts and the dress, and then I'm going to highlight that and trace it out onto some paper and then cut it out, and then we're ready to go. Let's do this.
Fabric wise, I'm using the same sheet set that I made my Barbie dress from earlier in the year. For the lining, I'm just using this nice light 100% cotton fabric.
Hello. I interrupt my pattern cutting out session here to share with you a tale of caution. And that caution is read the instructions before you start cutting things out. Now, I didn't show you this yesterday, but when I was making the hat, instead of cutting the brim as one big circular donut piece like this, like what I have on the finished hat here, I cut it as two separate halves because I didn't read the instructions, so I would have had seam lines in there. But luckily I had enough fabric that I was able to remedy my mistake. Now that brings me to this point here. I once again did not read the instructions through before I started cutting things out. And as you can see, this piece here, the back piece, I have cut the heart shape out. Cool, or at least I thought so. Turns out you're meant to leave that there, and where the heart shape was, you're meant to use like a tailor's chalk or something to draw that in, because that's actually the sewing line. You're not meant to cut the heart out until after you've sewn it in. And the same thing goes for the scalloped edge along the bottom of the skirt. So read the instructions, guys, so you don't repeat my mistakes. Hello and welcome to day 3 of making Barbie's beach costume. So today I'm actually going to sew the dress part together. Oh my god, isn't that exciting? So let's get into it, shall we?
First, I start by sewing all of the darts into the bust. After applying interfacing around the heart shape in the back, I then sew the lining piece to the back piece. Then I sew the front to the back. Then I add the shoulder straps.
So the top part of the dress is done. It's looking really, really cool at the moment. So we've got the top, the little belt. All I need to do now is put on the skirt on the bottom and then do the 2 little bows and it's done. Super quick pattern, coming together wonderfully. Absolutely love it. And here's the back, by the way. Cute.
After pinning the lining fabric to the skirt, I then sew the 2 pieces together. Then I turn it right side out and begin the tedious task of ironing all those scallops into shape. Finally, I pin the skirt to the top and sew it together.
Ta-da! Skirt is attached. It looks really cute. I'm happy with it. All I have left to do on it now is make the bows, put the hook and eye in the back, and do the shorts. But I won't be doing that until tomorrow, so I'll see you then.
Alrighty, welcome to day 4. So all I did on this day was cut out the short pattern pieces from the smaller check fabric. And then I sewed the shorts together front to back at the side seams. And then through the middle. I then added a waistband And finally, a zipper in the side. Next it was time to decorate these shoes. So the first thing I did was do a base coat of white paint to try and hide the polka dots. And at this point I still hadn't decided whether or not the bow was going to stay. But as you can see here, I did remove it, and then I did 2 layers of this baby pink satin paint. And here they are completely dry, and now onto the costume.
And there you have it. That is how I made the Beach Barbie costume. Now I am so stoked with this, as per usual. It was such an easy, fun, quick little costume to put together. My favourite parts in particular are definitely the heart cut out in the back here and the scalloped edge along the trim of the skirt. Even though I cut it out wrong initially, it still came together really well. If I were to make this costume again though, one thing I would do differently is that I would get a plastic brim reed to put along the brim of the hat. And that's because this metal one that I did get was A, one of the only ones I could find in New Zealand, and B, it holds its shape too well. See, I can bend it like that and it doesn't spring back into shape, which is ideally what I would have wanted here. But that's really my only little complaint about this costume. And even with that, I still think it looks great. Anyway, that's it for me this week. If you liked this video, please consider chucking a like down below. And if you really liked it, maybe even consider subscribing. I do a lot of sewing, crafting, and fun related stuff here on this channel, and I usually try and upload once a week, usually around the weekend. With all that being said, I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye. So, one thing I would do differently is I would get a plastic... One thing I would do differently is that I would get a plastic rim bead. Ugh.